Good morning. I'm going to make a short video about social programming of the new generation. And I want to describe a little bit about how the smaller countries that are under American influence got new leaders, new political leaders as acting as the puppets of the big puppeteers that run all the financial and military and social systems in the world, which most likely come from the American continent. I would not say it's the United States or whatever. And first, to give you a short idea about how these puppets are being elected, people in those countries, let's give an example in Eastern Europe, where it's a very powerful American influence through the Eastern European and through NATO. Even they appear that they are totally independent. That American influence is there all the times. And these puppeteers select 1, 2, 3 candidates they like, and candidates that they will follow the puppeteer agenda. And what they do, they make up a sort of a marketing campaign that contain messages to people that they want to hear. And in those countries, lots of people are living under survival mode, which everything is about how to find a job, how to feed my family, how to find a shelter or maintain the shelter, how to find food. Those things are primary. And they would like to hear stuff that please their mind, something that gives them hope, all sort of political promises. And since they have only 1 or 2 choices, it's the same thing like when you're very, very hungry and you go to a remote countryside store and you have only 1 type of bread. Guess what? You will get that bread because that bread will feed your hunger, will satisfy your hunger, and you pick up that bread. You don't make a fuss. Here in let's say in Canada, you can go to the store and you will find 5 type of bread, and you start becoming picky. So to simplify it, they pick 1, 2, maybe 3 candidates, all the same platform, same type of idea. They follow all the same puppeteer ruling. And I see that in Canada. I thought this Van Mixing or whatever guy is going to be part of the opposition, is going to be picking on Trudeau to watch him, how he's spending, what he's doing, or all that stuff. But when it was about pandemic, and not only pandemic, it seems that all these political parties in Canada, they are singing the same song, but it's not Trudeau's song, is someone above Trudeau who's using Trudeau as a face because he is a good-looking dude who was elected to manipulate people's emotions. So that's kind of a short description of how they elect the leaders. So now these leaders are pushing down these puppeteers, the big guys' agenda, the big guys who want to conquer the world. And I described in different video how they slowly move towards Russia and trying to engulf Russia, but Russia is still opposing that because Putin knows what he's doing. And but now the new generation has to be programmed like the kids are learning what is food, what's good, what's bad, what's burning, what love is, what smile means. So those are programs that are being engraved in the kids' minds. And once you program this current generation about fear, wearing mask when you don't really need it, or things like that, or the vaccines are really really important, or I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Then they will program their offsprings. And same thing with the new social rules. The leaders are trying to make a normal, and that normal, once it's installed as a program into these adults, the current adults' minds, they will pass it on to their offsprings. And I see young kids, I saw maybe 20 years old 10 minutes ago. He was doing something at the car with a mask on, nobody else at the car. I said, oh, why would you get out of the house to start driving a car with a mask on the face? That's stupidity. Like, who gives you the virus around your car? And so again, some people are very easy to be programmed, very moldable minds, because the minds are very simple. And the thought came from an orchestra. The conductor is acting as the leader, and all the performers in the orchestra, they play their instrument, they don't make comments, they are all very good followers, because they are required to be followers. If they don't have that mindset, there is no place for them in an orchestra. Nobody wants to hear someone singing his own song in an orchestra, right? Same thing in life, in a social life. If you have too many voices, too many opinions, it's very difficult to control. So now they want to program this new society, new kids, and you will have a new generation of obedient people growing up with the new normal, and you will have less and less questioning, because these people who oppose and who have kids, they will be given very hard times to survive, like taking away jobs, not having access to certain things, education and stuff, and they will be marginalized, and their offsprings will suffer exactly the same way that happens with the First Nations. So they are marginalized, so slowly that population started to decrease. Now there is some increase because they got some rights here in Canada, but over the last 50 years that population started to decrease because they were purposely decimated. That was a plan made by whites to decimate these populations. And you see, they deal with drugs abuse, alcohol, suffering, mental suffering, prison time, and all that stuff. That's a sneaky way to get rid of the indigenous population. And the same thing is going to happen with new generations that they think they can oppose the system. They may not go ahead to kill these people like a Nazi did. They may not do that. They may not segregate people in certain way like they do with black people. No, they will limit the access to certain services that will limit their growth. So that's true social programming, and is going to be done by these people who are programmed. So it's not going to be like the big puppeteer coming down to the little guy to tell him what to do. No, it's done all the way from the top through the presidents or the leaders of the countries, prime ministers, all the way to the managers, supervisors, company leaders, and all that stuff. The way you see they push the vaccine down, and it worked. Everyone kept their mouth shut and did their work because they had to survive. And so the less voices, the less opposition they have, the easiest to control, the easiest to establish that new normal, which might take another 20 years. 20 years, all flat, no talking, no chirping, no tweeting, no complaining, no crying. Everyone is like a robot. Okay, I'm going to work. I don't know. Mask probably won't be necessary at the time, but it's going to be a world of zombies being sucked out of energy and controlled by these sick people, sick people which are controlled in turn by other negative entities from some. I will not get that story here. Papa, bye bye.